CES always brings a whole bunch of laptops, and the show gives us a glimpse of what's coming in 2024 and beyond. It also probably won't surprise you that AI is big thanks to the Intel Core Ultra chips and a new Copilot key. That's the biggest change to Windows keyboards in decades. It's already showed up on the new Dell XPS laptops at CES. But now let's get into the biggest and best laptop releases from the show. Lenovo's ThinkBook Plus Gen 5 Hybrid does 2-in-1 with a twist. You can switch between Windows 11 and Android depending on how you're using it, either by pressing a button or detaching the 14-inch OLED display, which switches it to Android automatically. There's two discrete processors, an Intel Core 7 Ultra in the base and a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 in the display. We'll have to wait and see how this $2,000 machine stacks up when it comes out later this year. Dell consolidated its XPS line this year with two new sizes, a 14 and 16-inch model, both with super thin bezels and a machined aluminum body. There's a touch function bar that lights up when you need it, and even though the keyboard is pretty tight, we found it comfortable to type on. The NPU, or Neural Processing Unit from the Core Ultra, should help improve battery life by taking some load off the GPU and CPU, as well as powering all those AI tasks we've been promised, like blurring your background on a video call or AI detection in image and video editing. Alienware had the thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop at CES in 2023, but this year it's trimmed down and redesigned its M16 R2 by cutting off the thermal shelf. Now it's actually small enough to fit into a regular laptop sleeve or a backpack. But losing that shelf does mean you max out at the RTX 4070, unlike the 4090 in the original M16. The touchpad now gets this nice edge light, which makes it really easy to use in the dark, and there's also a stealth mode hotkey that instantly kills the RGB to white, which is ideal if you're switching between gaming and work. The M16 R2 starts at $1,650 and makes it a solid mid-tier offering in Alienware's stable. But if you really want to stand out from the crowd, this is the beast you are looking for. The MSI Titan 18HX is bonkers in the best possible way. Not only is it one of the most powerful laptops at the show, it costs $5,000 and it has this standout RGB haptic trackpad. You're either going to love it or hate it, and I'm definitely in the former category. Not to be outshined by the trackpad though, the 18-inch mini LED display has a refresh rate of 120Hz and 1000 nits brightness. There's also a low-profile mechanical keyboard and a vapor chamber cooler with an exhaust on the side of the machine. Inside is the Intel Core i9 14900HX, and it goes up to the RTX 4090. The 2024 version of the HP Spectre X360 is one of the first machines to dive into Meteor Lake, and this 2-in-1 has a gorgeous metal chassis, a more versatile 16:10 aspect ratio, and a 2.8K OLED display. It has a variable refresh rate up to 120Hz. That webcam also gets updated to 9 megapixels, and it can shoot 4K video. Now, thanks to the magic of the internet, we've actually fully reviewed this laptop. It starts at $1,500, and make sure to check out cnet.com for that full review. It's also linked in the description. HP also showed off the lightest gaming laptop at 1.6 kilograms or 3.6 pounds, called the Omen Transcend 14, and it's definitely suited to anyone who wants to game incognito. You can go all out with RGB lighting when the mood takes you, then slide into corporate monotony by turning it off. Also, with a variable refresh rate OLED, it goes up to a Core Ultra 9 185H with RTX 4070, and it starts at $1,500. Asus always shows up to CES with a boatload of laptops. This year's standouts include the Zenbook Duo. It has two full 14-inch OLED touchscreens at 120Hz that doesn't compromise on screen real estate. You can configure it up to a Core Ultra 9 H series with 32GB of memory and up to 1TB of storage. Then there's the Republic of Gamers Zephyrus G14 and G16 with its new LED lighting array on the lid. They both now come in a white finish, if that's more your style than the standard black. They're also the first ROGs to get OLED displays with a 3K 120Hz screen on the G14 and a 2.5K at 240Hz on the G16. Yes, you did hear that right, the larger screen does have a lower resolution. No pricing yet for either of those models in the Asus range, but expect them later in Q1 this year. And an honorary mention goes to the Razer Blade 18, more of a tease than anything else at this stage. It's another behemoth that doesn't look too different on the outside from last year's blades, but wins us over with plans for Thunderbolt 5 support that can do things like drive 3 4K monitors at a time and support higher bandwidth for docks. There's no pricing yet though, and it will be available after April. For more laptop newness and reviews from CES and beyond, head to CNET.